going to go through the process of making a puppet from a photograph. This is the photograph that I'll be using for this puppet. And I use monster clay, which is clay that hardens until you heat it. So I will demonstrate what happens after you heat it. I'm just going to put it on a plate and microwave it for probably 30 seconds. So you can see now that it's softened a bit, it's pliable like a putty, and I can work with it in this state, and as time goes on it hardens, so I can soften it up back in the microwave and add more. So I'll start by just piling it on to form the neck onto this turntable, and I'll be forming the head with this clay. Now put enough clay to get a basic form of a head. So this is my starting point before I start getting into details like noses and ears, but as you can see, it's still pliable, it's still soft, and I can add the soft clay on because it's still pliable, it's still warm. You don't want it too warm, otherwise it will lose its shape and sink. Basically, you just get an inexpensive brush you can get it at Home Depot, and it looks like initially it's not going to stick, but eventually it does. Just keep brushing. So as you can see, I have my first coat that's completely covering all the clay. Again, check to see if there's any air bubbles. I think most of them. And we're just going to keep applying till it gets thicker. So now the plaster has started to set, and you actually just kind of place the plaster on kind of like clay, just mold it to the head. That's pretty much set now. So I've almost gotten all of the clay out of the mold. There's a couple places I need to touch up with plaster, but it came out. There's a couple areas that I need to fill in. So I use this product, Sugru. You can get it online or at Target. It's like a putty, but it dries hard and it can be sanded. So I'm going to take this and fill in a couple small holes. Now we're ready to paint the head. I have an airbrush here. It's a single action external mix badger. Mix the colors with mask paint in this vial. So you need a compressor, you need a mask. Different shades of gray, so I'm going to start with the lightest color and touch it up, but I'm brushing this on so it doesn't, if I sprayed it, it would get onto the face, so I have more control just brushing it. So I just mix my mask paint color, and I'm now striating it with a darker tone of gray. So I'll just keep building it up. Since I already have base of the mask paint on the head, I'm going to do the detail work with acrylic paint. I find it easier to work with when I'm doing small. Now you have the completed puppet, and he talks.